Well, that's a lot of text.
So you know Santa Claus is real, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever snoop on what Santa brought you?
Yeah, one time. I actually instantly regretted it too because it was like wholly kind of not what I was expecting.
Oh, that's what my story's going to be today. But do you want to share yours first?
No, go ahead.
I kind of want to know your story.
Eh,
You don't have to. You don't want to.
I mean,
Maybe if we get some comments, they'll have to.
yeah, I guess.
Before we finish the series, folks, if you're watching Ready to Rumble Round 2, one of the best games out there, request for how my buddy stole Christmas.
Wait, arcade, right?
Oh, duh.
All right, 2-player.
100. All right, is Big Mama in this one?
Yo, Willie's got to make a comeback. Willie's got to redeem himself.
Johnny Blood, let's do it. We already showed him who Jet is. He's on a whole other tier. Or Afro, the poster child.
Yeah, go Afro.
What? We gotta go Johnny Blood, dude.
All right.
He's got that reach. Alright, I'll do it. Alright, so my little story about Ready to Rumble and Christmas. So I really wanted this game for some reason. And I despised sport games for the most part.
Okay.
Had no affinity for boxing, but for some reason I thought this was the coolest thing. I traded my N64 for a Dreamcast Sega Sports because it was black, and I got Power Stone 2 for it. That's all I could afford for like a year and a half. And then for Christmas, they were like, all right, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, yo, Santa, I want Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. And I had the Dreamcast, of course, so I was like pretty stoked on it. And the PlayStation 2 was coming out that year, and you know, I knew not to ask for that because like at the time, everybody and their mom was out there camping for it, and it was like $300 or something crazy at the time. $299 back then was like, oh my gosh! Now you can't even get Magic cards for that. So I'm out there, or I'm asking for Ready to Rumble Round 2. It was only $40 or something versus like 50 or whatever the prices were for new PlayStation 2 games. And you know, it's a couple weeks before Christmas, and you know, maybe I found out where Santa's workshop was, right? So I go into the closet and I find it, and it's for PlayStation 2. She got me the game I wanted for the system I didn't have.
Okay. Huh.
Dumb little stupid idiot me goes to Santa's little helper, mom, and is like, hey, you know, I don't have a PlayStation 2. Come on. So she knew, little jerk, snooping on his little gifts, I see.
Yep.
So that Christmas, knowing that I didn't get the game I wanted, I was all upset. Like, I'm going to have to go return it and all this stuff. You know.
Yep. Okay.
And I had to sit with it, knowing that she knew that I knew that she knew that, you know what I mean? It was like one of them situations. And so I unwrapped the PlayStation 2 game. I'm like, oh man, like I don't have a PlayStation 2. I only have the Dreamcast. She's like, oh well, you're gonna have to be patient and return it, you little jerk. So everybody gets their gifts and stuff, and I'm like sitting there looking at the thing, and it's like the new case for a system like that nobody had, you know, that had like the blue and the black and the spine versus a little jewel case. Like DVDs were such a novelty that people were buying this thing for the DVD players. DVD players were $600 at the time, which was like $1,200 now.
I use the PS2 DVD player all the time.
Oh yeah, so it was epic. And how I know that is because the last gift, she's like, oh, go check on the turkey. I'm like, all right. So I go over to the whatchamacallit. We're not riveting gameplay here at all. We're just talking about the story. You can beat me up if you want.
I mean,
this.
it objectively feels worse than the other one. I've just been kind of like testing it out a little bit.
Oh no, you had to play it for Dreamcast or PlayStation 2. You had to.
Yeah, I believe that.
The first one felt great, but So yeah, I go check on the turkey. There's no turkey, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird. You got to get the pan out so we can make the turkey. It's underneath the oven." So I go open up underneath the oven, and guess what's underneath the oven?
What's underneath the oven?
A blue box from Toys R Us for $2.99.
Hey.
I got myself a PlayStation 2. Ran upstairs, plugged it in, and then I was like, "What is this? Like the swirling, like the fidelity." I was just like, "This is some next level stuff." I just stared at the swirling atmosphere for like an hour.
The PS2 was such a good system.
It was insane, especially at the time. Like blew my little brain apart.
I mean, same. I don't think there was anything I probably enjoyed more. Like I did like the Xbox and the Xbox 360.
Yeah, same. I was a Halo kid for sure.
But the PS2 had some like kind of magic about it.
Oh, absolutely. Oni, like some of the trashiest games I was like really hyped for. But my first game for the PS2 is Raid Rumble Round 2.
All right, that's interesting.
And like it was an alright game, for what it was. Looking back on it, it's better than it was back then. But the graphics were out of this world. Just insane.
Yeah, it felt really next level compared to anything that like I had seen before. I was like, wow, this is truly like next gen.
Doesn't really hit the same on N64 and feels a little clunkier, but either way, that's my little story. So anybody out there that their parents are generous enough to embrace Santa Claus's abilities, don't go snooping through their stuff.
Yeah.
Be good.
It's better just to like let it happen, let the surprise come, and then sort of deal with it later, even if it's not what you're expecting.
Yeah, you can return stuff, or maybe you don't get anything. That's fine too. Sometimes it's better not get anything, so you don't feel all upset about it.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't listen to me and go snoop and get yourself the next gen system or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it worked out in the end.
Dude, it worked out for sure. I still have that PlayStation. It's funny because I have like 5 PlayStations now, and a couple of them are modded and stuff, and like you can get them for like $20.
All right, well that's legit.
And that was just like with composite video. I didn't even know what component was yet. We didn't have any TVs that could even do it, I don't think. It wasn't until the Xbox came out that we even could hook it up to monitors with RCA and like really explore what YPVBR, like what progressive scan was. Like none of that was even relevant. I hooked it up to a CRT and it still was just, my mind was blown.
Yeah, I mean, same. I just used the component cable, I believe. The yellow, white, red.
Yeah. Do you remember like the menu and then you could hit triangle and it was like there was like options. It was like a computer. I was like, what is this? Yep. Like I came from all the Nintendos and stuff. We had settings for your console, like Yeah. Heaven forbid you turned on progressive scan when you couldn't do it, and then you had to figure out how to turn it off and crazy. Totally crazy.
Brings back memories.
Well, I really can't wait to hear how you ruined your own Christmas.
It wasn't really ruined.
Okay. The plot thickens.
It really wasn't even that big of a deal, honestly.
Did they find out, or was it just personal disappointment?
It was literally just like the one present I decided to peek on. It was just like, oh, this is like underwear. So.
Oh man. Was it cool underwear? Did you get like the Airwalk?
It's just like regular ass like boxers.
Nice. You got the Hanes. You're like, yo, Christmas is here, dude.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I don't want to know anymore.
Like, I asked for socks. What the heck? Come on, Mom. That's legit. Well, I feel like a jerk asking for PlayStation. I didn't even ask for the PlayStation 2 and got it. Like, come on. Anyway,
hey.
In the comments, we didn't even play the game. Why don't you tell us, was there any snooping you did, or Or if you were a good kid, you probably even got cooler stuff. I don't know if you got anything cooler on PS2, but let us
I do
know.
remember the Christmas I got the N64. That was a good Christmas.
Yo, what was your pack in? Did you get the Empire, the Star Wars one?
No. I mean, it was just a regular N64, but I think the only game I got with it was like Mario Kart. So it was just like I just spammed Mario Kart until I got another game, which it took a little while. So I was playing that for like a bit.
You're still playing that.
Yeah.
That's legit, man. That's a good one.
That was a good Christmas.
I remember Pokemon Snap vividly, but other than that, Pokemon Snap, and then much later was Perfect Dark. I was playing that all the way up until I traded it for the Dreamcast, which I definitely regret. And then Rush 2, which is actually a game coming up pretty much next, I think.
Nice. All right. Well, good segue.
That was like 10 minutes of us not playing this game at all, but
Hell yeah.
we'll be playing it for the PlayStation or the Dreamcast, which is much more optimal.
We'll give it a good rating anyway. It'll be very concise and thorough and accurate for sure. You'll agree with it.
Or just watch the first one because Ready to Rumble, the first one for... Yeah, do it. Or don't. What do we got? Resident Evil 2. Ooh. I got Resident Evil 2 stories, man.
All right. Yeah. Well,
You can play it, and then I can talk about... wasn't Funkoland. What was the other one? KB Toys, dude.
KB Toys was the shit.
Yo, let's go get some X-Men figures on discount.
I got my Genesis from KB Toys.
What?
Yeah, it was like
fire.
packaged up all like in a like saran wrap because it was a used one,
Okay.
but it was cheap as hell. It was probably like $20 or some shit.
Do you remember the counters and with the glass cases and the glass case in the back?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, where the video games were when you
Yeah,
took a left.
That's exactly where it was.
Yo, they had all the Power Wheels on the right, then you take a left and the counter was like...
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, man. Good times.